How are you? I'm Merrill Catlin from Make a Tea Online, and I'm here with Zach Dewhurst, and we are doing an incredible Spill the Tea at the Printing United Show 2023 in Atlanta. And I'm so happy to have Zach here to talk to because we have so many questions to ask him, and this is going to be, I think, my most favorite podcast yet. So how are you, Zach?
I'm good. I mean, again, like you said, Meryl, we're at the Printing United show. This is unlike anything. I mean, I've been to the Long Beach show. I've been to the other impressions, the NBM. They don't compare to the size of this show altogether because it's more than just apparel. It's massive.
It's all kinds of printing. And I know being in the industry, we really do all kinds of printing. We don't just like stick to one kind of printing. Like we don't just print t-shirts or tank tops. We consider all of this part of what we do. That's our service, and that is kind of why we're here, even though we're called Spill the Tea. I know when we're supposed to talk all about t-shirts, but it's still printing on a substrate. And our favorite substrate is cotton.
Yeah.
Right. So it's kind of nice to be like sitting here and not in our studio in Coral Springs and have this one-on-one. So I think this is going to be a great value to our listeners. Okay, so I have a list of questions, and I don't normally read them like this, but give me a break, guys, okay? So let's first talk a little bit about Zach. I want to have everybody get to know him a little bit. So Zach, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
So I got into the industry when I was in college. I first worked for a t-shirt shop, and we didn't print any shirts. We just were a retailer, and they let us buy them at their cost. So that's how I started to learn, whoa, a t-shirt costs this much, and we're selling it for this much. And I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. So this was my freshman year. I had that job. By the time I was a sophomore, I started my first printing business and just have grown it from there. I offer screen printing, embroidery, DTG, DTF, sublimation, all in-house. And then in the past 5 years, I've done more consulting for those who use DecoNetwork, because when I was in college 13 years ago, I found DecoNetwork, and it's helped me manage my business over the past 13 years. And I really enjoy working with other shops on how to get the most out of the software with their business model. And then earlier this year, DecoNetwork approached me about becoming their business development manager. DecoNetwork software is incredible. It's just often the brand recognition isn't so much there, and that's what we're really pushing right now, because anybody who's ever played with DecoNetwork software knows it is the most powerful software you can use to run a t-shirt or apparel printing business. And yeah, you know yourself. How long have you been using DecoNetwork?
I know. I kind of joke that I think that the customer number, that we have the first customer number. But we searched for a long time, actually. After we had gotten our direct-to-garment equipment, we searched for, and we searched and we made some mistakes, and mistakes are part of growth. And we tried to do certain things, and then when we found DecoNetwork, it was like, oh my God, thank God. First of all, it was the customer service that was there for me. So besides having all of the software needs, which was a lot more than I even knew I needed.
Yep.
Like a ton more than I knew I needed. But I've just been a loyal customer because of how great it is, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But I'm kind of glad that DecoNetwork brought you on, because you were your name was always there. Oh, Zach knows this, Zach knows that, Zach knows this, Zach knows that. And I'm like, I want to know what Zach knows. I want to know what he knows. And it's great that you were that you have a shop, and that you understand the needs of the shop. And so all of the elements of DecoNetwork kind of fall in place for you because you have those needs, which will bring me to other questions.
DecoNetwork listens to their, I don't like to call them customers, I like to call them members. Mm-hmm. So we're members of the software, and they listen to us. Hey, this is a new feature we really could use. And over the last, decade plus, you and I have seen a lot of updates. And again, we provide that feedback. They listen, they implement.
Right.
And I love the company. I love working with DecoNetwork almost more than my own customers because it's very enjoyable. And events like this expo, it's on another level.
Yeah, I can't believe how big this is also. This, I think, is bigger than the ISS show, like you were saying.
It has to be.
Yeah, it's just incredible. So, let me get to this other question here that we have, which we kind of touched on, like because you had a business and then you found the need for a software to streamline the business. That's how you came to DecoNetwork. But what sets DecoNetwork off differently from other software so that people won't make the same mistakes that I did?
Yeah, and once you start getting into a piece of software, you start getting more committed over time, and then it's harder to change. But what makes DecoNetwork truly different is it's what I like to call an all-in-one solution. And the main reason I say that is most of DecoNetwork's competitors do one of three things. They offer a website with a design tool. Everybody wants to be the next customink.com. How do they do it? They show a product, their customers can design and order in real time. So DecoNetwork does that. Secondly, we often want to provide websites to our clients to fundraise, to sell merch, to act as an ordering portal. So DecoNetwork allows you to do that in addition. And then third, there's an order management system where all of those orders then flow into. You can then raise purchase orders with your suppliers, organize artwork approvals for digitizing, vectorizing the artwork, schedule the job, assign it, even outsource it to another shop if you can't handle it. So DecoNetwork is a true all-in-one solution when you compare them to their competitors, because DecoNetwork's competitors only do one of the three. And that's what really sets them apart.
Yeah, I mean, I know that as a small business, what sets our business apart is the ability to do fundraising for our customers, because there's no other printer in town, well, unless they're using DecoNetwork, that has that capability to do that seamlessly, easy, reliably, because we know exactly what profit that the nonprofit or the fundraising person or company gets, because it's right there. Like, there's no disputing it. It's not like, hey, I went to Dunkin' Donuts and bought, donuts with the money that I collected. It's right there. The numbers are there, so you can't lie to the numbers. No. And they see it and they're like, wow, you raised that much money for me, and it also lets other people go onto the platform. So I look at it as a lead generator also.
Absolutely. I mean, when somebody's fundraising, you're typically selling them a retail product. They're not designing it custom. And then it gets your foot in the door for, hey, next time you need a custom product, come to us and we can do that order. So absolutely a great lead generator for the other revenue routes you can pursue. My favorite thing about the industry is there's so many different business models you can do. I mean, you can do wholesale, you can do contract, you can do affiliate sites. There's just so much. You can do it all at the same time under one platform, and it's not a big learning curve for each one. You just need somebody to manage each revenue route that you're pursuing. And DecoNetwork has a lot of successful users who use a variety of business models. Some of them just do stores, some of them just do custom, and then other shops that over time, I mean, they've built it up, they're taking full advantage. But yeah, it just matters what your business model is, and the software can handle it very well.
I think as a creative person, which obviously you are a creative person, we tend to kind of like be able to make changes to our business a little bit easier than somebody who is just so focused to follow their business plan. Like, I think that, in other words, when I got the software, and as DecoNetwork has updated the software, I've made certain pivots, like, hey, I can do this now. I can actually put business cards on here, and I can put vehicle magnets on here, and I can even like put a specialty order that I've sold and put that on there, and let the customer get that one invoice, pay that one invoice, which they do, we have like no collections anymore, because when the customer gets the invoice,
You pay for it.
they pay for it. They pay for it, and so being able to like pivot a little bit really also helps us as a business, and I'm sure all these other businesses here, because mostly they're somewhat of a creative person and are able to make those changes.
I'm a Stahl's Hottronics dealer. I've sold hundreds of heat presses through the software. Has nothing to do with
Really?
printing at all.
Really?
You can take a photo, put it on there, designate a price, and sell it on any of your websites or through Business Hub's order management system. It doesn't have to be a custom product.
Right.
And if you do want to sell a business card, all it is a rectangle, designate how much you want to charge, what process is available. In the past couple years, DTF is the biggest thing that everybody wants to sell. Everybody who buys a DTF printer also wants to sell DTF transfers to the shops who haven't pulled the trigger on it. And DecoNetwork allows you to sell virtually anything through the software.
Right.
And again, you can have multiple websites for different types of clientele to place those orders.
Right. We have our Spill the Tea Live. So any of you afterwards, you want to go on Spill the Tea Live, spillthetea.live, that is a DecoNetwork website. So, and it's our podcast. So you can be as creative as you are. DecoNetwork allows you to have that ability. Okay, let's see. I know I have a lot of questions here for you. Okay, let's get back to the custom ink thing. How easy is it for the customer to design a t-shirt on DecoNetwork?
It's very easy. It actually starts with the product itself. So you have an order. What are they ordering? They're ordering a product, and like you said earlier, you provide a service. I never looked at myself as selling products. I provide a service when I decorate. But the products, one of the things that really separates DecoNetwork from the competition is our partnerships and relationships with the suppliers in the industry. And we're always growing those supplier relationships. I mean, I'm walking around the room and I'm trying to identify who don't we have on the software, and let's get them on there. And we don't charge for it. All they have to do is work with us, because when you sign up for DecoNetwork, it should be as easy as a click of a button. You have Sanmar, S&S, Alpha Broder, and a ton of other suppliers, their entire product line. And the big guys like Sanmar, S&S, and Alpha, not only do you have all their products, you have live inventory. Since COVID hit, inventory was a nightmare. Well, I can stop somebody from buying a product that is out of stock. That's a very powerful feature. And then even just as powerful is a live purchase order, meaning I can order all the blank products I need to fulfill my orders with a click of a button through DecoNetwork. I don't have to go rekey it in to somebody else's website. None of our competitors do that. And so you have those products, then you have your online design tool. So I often get asked, is Custom Ink a DecoNetwork website? And it's like, no, but I can make your site look virtually identical, because it's always the same thing. On any of the websites, you select a category, because your customers come to you, they typically have a need for a custom product. They have something in mind. I need hats for my sports team. I need polos for my team. I need t-shirts for an event. You don't typically just buy a product on a whim when it's custom. Maybe a gift in that situation. So they come to you with a particular product in mind. You show them a category, they select a category, you take them to a page to then select a product from that category, and then they're on the design tool. It's that simple. The simpler you keep it, the better. Go to any of the websites in the first page of Google for custom shirts. It's always the same method. Category, product from within it, design tool, and then in real time get a proof and price that you can then place an order for. And with DecoNetwork, if you're trying to place a screen print order, I need to be able to count how many colors are in the design to be able to price it.
Yeah, that is the coolest thing.
You can even upload a bitmap. You could upload a JPEG, and DecoNetwork has the ability to count how many colors are in the design.
Right.
If it's a digital print, it's typically looking at the size. If it's embroidery, we're estimating how many stitches are going to be necessary. So DecoNetwork accounts for all of the biggest decoration processes in the industry. They're adding them DTF has only been around a few years.
Yeah.
You can use that to sell printed shirts or transfers. So it all starts with the products. that then lead to the design tool, which lead to quotes and orders, which is what we ultimately want as a shop.
Right, right. There's also, you get reports, you get sales tax, list, you get everything in the reports if you have DecoNetwork software, which makes your accounting easier, your business easier. It's just 100% professional, and it's not, I remember the times we were talking about this, that people write up their orders with pen and paper. And I know
there's still shops who do.
Yeah, I know on my desk, all those pen and paper orders, they get lost. So Sarah calls my desk an onion, like all the paper, or the vortex. I call it the vortex. But when people come in the office, I'm like, put it on Deco, get it in the system, because if it's not in the system, then it's going to get lost. So here you have it so streamlined, and other employees can log in and see everything. They know where they is. They know the status of it. They know if it's in production. They know where it's just great. It's just great. It's not good to get phone calls when you're trying to do a podcast.
Well, and everything is stored. So when that customer comes back to a year later, you have their artwork. You know exactly what they ordered. It's not guessing. Okay, was it the Gildan 5000 or was it the Gildan 2000? No, I know what they ordered.
Right.
I have the artwork, and it's all stored. And like you said, like there's two pieces of software you integrate with Deco primarily: QuickBooks for accounting, and ShipStation for shipping. So you can easily sync with QuickBooks, push all of your revenue from DecoNetwork to QuickBooks for accounting purposes. When it comes to shipping, you can funnel all of the customer's order information to ShipStation, including the weight of the order. We know how much every shirt weighs, and then we're able to quickly buy and print the label, send it to the customer, very streamlined. So on a daily basis, I use DecoNetwork, QuickBooks, ShipStation, and Adobe to prep my artwork. And that's really it. I mean, you don't need a ton of different platforms. It just all works together. DecoNetwork is that all-in-one solution, and that you're not having to use a ton of different pieces of software like our competitors.
Okay, awesome. Alrighty, here, let me get to something else. There's a lot of activity going on here at the show, and I'm really excited actually to be walking around a little bit more afterwards and seeing everything. Okay, let's see. What features do you consider to be the most essential for a successful custom t-shirt design software? So what features in DecoNetwork do you consider the most important?
I would say the ability to quote or put together an order for the customer. The website is a bonus, but the order management system is the true core of the software. I don't care how I get the order. Once I have it, I need to be able to keep everything organized. And I've heard from a lot of long-term users, their favorite thing is the ability to quote in a matter of a couple of minutes versus, again, DecoNetwork's competitors, it's a long task, and you have to manually enter what you want to charge for it. So I can quickly search for any of those Sanmar products, Alpha, whoever, pull it up, drop artwork on there for whatever process I want to use, and immediately it is generating a proof and a price within a minute. And that's just a very powerful feature, because ultimately you want to make as much money as possible, that your profit. Before you have profit, you have your revenue, your total amount of sales. Where do your sales come from? Orders. Where does an order typically originate? A quote, depending on the process. So the ability to quote quickly that then leads to that order, and then having the whole production side of things, it is just super helpful. If you're looking for software, make sure it has an order management system. There are some out there that we compete with. They're not as good, but the order management side is extremely important. And again, the ability to quote a customer and interact with them, like you said. You put in that quote, you email it to them, they approve it, becomes an order. There's no he said, she said. No, you approved it.
It's right there, right?
We're right there.
And then they can send it to somebody else. Let's say the person that you're sending it to isn't the end decision maker. They can share that quote very easily with whoever is going to be in charge making those decisions. But one thing that's really important is, and it would take a long time, and this always does take a long time, and there's still times we slip back and we'll do it manually, like, oh, we're going to go into SanMar and see, is that size available in that color? But in the software, it's right there.
Yes.
And we kind of forget about that sometimes, or some of us forget about it sometimes, usually me, and like, oh wait, I don't have to go into SanMar and go into Broder and see, is that Gildan in old gold available in that size? It's just in the software, because when we enabled live, the live inventory, that was like, wow, such a game changer, such a time saver. The one thing that none of us can get back is time. That's the most valuable thing in life, is time. So if it saves time, and while we're in our working hours to make money, that is a huge, huge bonus right there.
Well, and again, because you have all those suppliers, okay, SanMar doesn't have that SKU, that color, that size.
Right.
But SanMar and Alpha, same thing.
Right.
I have that same product. I can look up the inventory levels. And if we're on a website, I can prevent a customer from buying a product out of stock, and I can even put a buffer in there. So maybe we say if they have less than 20 of that SKU, technically we view it as out of stock. Because because it's available when they're buying it, it's not being bought that second.
No.
So there's just a lot of great features, even on top of the actual, to have the numbers from an inventory standpoint.
Right. I try to tell that to people all the time. Half the things you say, I feel like I'm saying, like you said the same things that I say all the time, like on a daily basis. Like, yeah, because if you want to buy it right now, it's here. We can buy them now. But tomorrow, those pink shirts in October may not be available.
Not in October. Oh, I've been there.
Right.
If you're going to buy it, and then it's like March, don't buy green.
Right.
Get it in February.
Right.
Because it's exactly.
Right. It's going to be gone. So see, we're just giving you tips to prepare. I don't think people prepare though. They don't prepare.
And the suppliers have gotten better.
Yeah.
Again, after
customers don't like people don't realize, like, Christmas is December 25th every single year.
I don't need the order on the 23rd.
Right. Your mother's birthday is the same date every single year. Right. So okay. All right, let me get to another question. Is there anything that you want to ask me as a DecoNetwork user and fellow printer? Is there anything you want to ask me, or are you enjoying
What's your favorite part of the software? What do you like the most about using DecoNetwork?
So my favorite thing is designing. I'm a graphic artist originally by trade, and I love the ability to make everybody's affiliate store, that we do a lot of affiliate stores, to make them custom. And I like that we can kind of change our website. We can make changes to. I like the ability to design, and I like to kind of trick the system a little bit. Like, we added a blog on there. We have links to our promotional product. We have links to our affiliate stores. I just like all the creative ability that we have with DecoNetwork, with the platform, and this is kind of just using the basic templates, which make it easy because it's so much quicker. Like, oh, I want to add copy, just go get the text, just go get the widget for a photo, or the widget for a custom decorated product, or if we want to feature Halloween stuff, now we have a Halloween banner, and I just like the creative aspect of it. It makes it fun for me.
The software is extremely powerful, and that's the best and worst thing about it. Anything that's powerful can have a little bit of a learning curve, and at DecoNetwork we're doing more free training, and then you also have the industry experts like myself who not only have their own shop but have used the software for years, and it is a paid service that you can take advantage of, and in which you could sign up for DecoNetwork. In a couple of weeks, I can have you fully up and running with your business model. Because there's so many, again, different ways you can make money. We can mold the software to your needs very quickly and get you up and running.
Once you sign up, you can make money.
Oh,
like
yes,
that
absolutely.
Minute. And then you work on your site, and then if you don't like something, you can change it. You can move things around. You can add things as for the front page and different highlights. We actually added a video. We added a landing landing page for one of our customers who has a nonprofit, and when you went to it, it was like you saw this video, and it was really, really neat, really, really neat. So that's what she had as her landing page. Then you click and you go and you buy the products, and that is part of the fundraising, it was great. I mean, one of our customers had a Shopify, well, probably many of our customers have had Shopify stores, and then they're like, oh, we're not selling, or we're not happy with the way the stuff is printed. And I'm sure we make sure that whatever we print comes out better than, say, a mass. Our customers aren't numbers, and I'm sure yours aren't either. And so they have been unhappy with other services. So she said, but I kind of like the way the Shopify store looks. Well, we built her affiliate store to look just like the Shopify store. Actually, we made it look better, a couple more tweaks, easier for the customer to go on and purchase, because we understand by listening to our customer some things that maybe would stop them from making a purchase, so we try to make it easier. And we know the pitfalls, and so we try to pass those over, like not as many clicks as needed. See it, do it, design it, buy it. Like not have like 25 different steps to go do these things.
It's as simple as drag and drop. You don't have to be a coding specialist. I have no website design background really. I just know that with DecoNetwork, the tools are within the software. Mm-hmm. So all you really, keep it simple. Mm-hmm. Let, in as few clicks as possible, let the customer request a quote or place an order. Mm-hmm. And when it comes to the affiliate sites, you can build templates that you then can clone and swap out the variables very quickly. I mean, the tools are there to be successful. You don't have to be a website designer by trade to be taking full advantage of the affiliate side of things.
No, and one thing that we did, which I think is really important, is even though I'm a graphic designer, Sarah's a graphic designer and production manager, my daughter's a graphic designer. Like everybody that worked, we're all graphic designers. But our real graphic designer, I told him, make yourself a site so that you know how to design when we meet with customers and we're designing affiliate stores. So I gave him a site, or he put up his own site, and then that gives him the ability, it's like he tries things on his site. How is this going to look on my site? So your graphic designer, because I'm sure many of you who are going to be listening, you have a graphic designer, they may be a little hesitant to do some things because they think they're going to break somebody's website.
Break it.
We're going to break the website. Give them their own site. You can do that. And then they can make the mistakes on their site, and they can actually make some money on the side too.
Well, and with DecoNetwork, every time you publish the site, you're saving a version.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to go back. If they break it, it's not that hard to reverse what they did and bring it back to where you were.
Right. And if you have a problem, you pick up the phone, and there is a human being on the other end of that phone that knows the answer, or if they don't know the answer, they will call you right back with an answer, and they will make sure that they send you an email. Did you get that fixed? Did we make that fix? I mean, you're dealing with a live person. You're not a number. You're important to DecoNetwork. They want you to succeed.
Client services is awesome. I mean, it's led by Christopher Cruz. Chris knows the industry, he knows the software, and he leads his team very well.
Right.
So the customer service, it's like in our industry, it goes quality, service, well, those two at the same, and price. The customer's most worried about the price, is the most difficult to work with.
Yeah.
So same with DecoNetwork. The quality of the product, the service, and then their price happens to be down here when you compare it to their competitors.
Right.
It starts at $199 a month for essentially one website, $299 a month for an unlimited amount of sites. And it's going to pay for itself when you think about how much time is this saving me? How many mistakes are we reducing because we are organized and we are using software to our advantage? I think of like accounting. So when it comes to accounting, for a long time, it was always done on pen and paper with a ledger. It worked, but everybody uses QuickBooks until they grow out of it.
A cigar box to put the money in, right?
and it just doesn't, why do we use QuickBooks? Well, it's better. It's software. Why do we use software? To become more efficient and grow our business. And DecoNetwork is the same thing. It will make you more efficient. It'll reduce your mistakes, but it also opens doors to new revenue models that allows you to grow your business. And before you know it, you're spending $299 a month, and that $299 has paid for itself 10,000 times over because of what all it allows you to do.
Right. You're much more professional with DecoNetwork. With any software, you're much more professional. And I know that there's like a thought process where when you're a small business, you think that your customers, that they think that they're going to get a better deal if you're more of a cottage shop. Well, I thought that at one point in my life, like maybe they think, and we were not a cottage shop, we always had a storefront, but I think that being in a creative business, people think like, oh, you're working out of your living room, or you're working out, and people do, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Many people do, but having, I'm trying to explain something. So we had a big customer come into us once. We had an open house when we had moved to one of our locations. And they actually said to us, they owned 15 restaurants, so it was a big customer. And they said to me, we were using this person, but you're an actual business, as opposed to using somebody who was
a hobbyist.
Who was a hobby. Yeah,
the cricket moms.
And nothing wrong with the cricket moms.
No.
But actually, they're our best customer, because then they get these big orders. They're like,
they bring them to you.
I can't do it. Like, yes, okay. But so thank you, cricket moms. Thank you, cricket, and thank you to all the creatives out there, because we love the creative people. So when that customer came to us and said that, I was like, you know what? I'm sure that he might be saving a little bit of money by using somebody that doesn't have the overhead that we have of the building, not the software, of the building and employees. But he felt more comfortable dealing with a company that he knew was going to get his work done and delivered and done professionally.
And done right, yeah.
So to get the customers who have the money, because your product is depending on their success, that is really, really important for people to understand. And also, I want to point something out. As a small business, I don't have a partner, but I consider DecoNetwork a strategic partner. And to be a successful business, you can't do it alone. You need some type of partnership. And that's how I feel about DecoNetwork, that they are a strategic partner to Make It Tea Online and our main company, which is Type Styles.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely. And like you, I own my business 100%, and having that network of partners really does help. I love Sanmar. I love everything they're able to provide me outside of even t-shirts, and I see them as a strategic partner. So You're only as good as your supply chain.
Right.
And technically, DecoNet, I wouldn't call them part of your supply chain, but they organize your supply chain.
Right.
It's all connected. It is the decoration network that the DecoNetwork is striving to be.
Right. Okay, let's see here. And I did not really give you time to think about these answers, so I'm loving this. I'm loving that, like, we know what we're talking about, which makes it really kind of a neat
Shoot
thing.
from the hip.
Thank you, Zach. Thank you. Okay. Right. This is really important for everybody here. How does DecoNetwork handle bulk orders for businesses and organizations?
So, when it comes to production, you really have kind of two strategies: on demand or batch production. So, if I have an affiliate site and we have it open for a couple of weeks and we gather hundreds of orders, I'm going to typically do batch production to be as efficient as possible. Raise one purchase order for that batch, download a production worksheet for that batch, and download the individual worksheets for the orders, so we can be as efficient as possible from a production standpoint. So it really allows you to be efficient And we even have the outsourced production feature where if that order comes in and it's just out of your realm, I mean, I don't have a giant automatic screen print press. That's not my bread and butter. But I know a lot of people on DecoNetwork who do, and with the click of a button, I can outsource that order to them to make my life easier. I don't want to tell my customers no very often, because the more I tell them no, they're going to look at my competition.
Right.
And before you know it, I lose their whole business. But DecoNetwork allows me to connect with other shops to pick me up when I need it.
Yeah, that word, I don't like to say that word, no.
Outsource?
No, the word no.
No.
That word is like not in my vocabulary.
I don't know, sometimes it's nice.
I know, but with a K, N-O-W.
Yeah, never heard it that way, that's good.
Actually, there was one time where I think I sent an order to somebody in England because I got an email from somebody that they needed some shirts, and I immediately went onto the DecoNetwork users Facebook page, which is great. And I like, hey, and somebody contacted me, and I connected them. So it was great to be able to.
The DecoNetwork user group is really good. You can get a lot of advice. I mean, my last piece of embroidery equipment, I couldn't get to a show recently. I mean, it was during the COVID time. I went on there, I was like, hey, I'm looking for this. And somebody's like, no, I've never heard of it, but I really suggest this. And I went that route, and I'm very happy that I used the DecoNetwork user group to help make an informed decision. And like you said, when you are looking for somebody, hey, can they get this out quickly, or you located there, it is all possible.
There's a lot of people that have DecoNetwork that have a lot of experience, and they do know a lot of stuff, and it is so helpful. I actually, even if it's things I don't need, I kind of read what other people ask about, because I want to know. Obviously, if someone else has a question, that could be a potential question for me. And then you get these people that are so nice and so helpful. And we do another class called Apparel Masterminds, and we've had a couple people from DecoNetwork from other countries log on to the Apparel Masterminds, even though it was, hi Emily, even though it was like, midnight in Australia, and her kids were sleeping, and she was like listening in the kitchen and she was typing because she didn't want to wake them up. It was kind of neat to have that like camaraderie with other people, that that you feel like you're friends with them, and we're all helping each other out, which was really, really neat.
One thing I didn't fully give credit is I've worked with a lot of Australian shops, a lot of shops in the UK, I mean Germany, all over. The industry is the same on every continent. It doesn't work really any different on any continent, and being able to build that network and be strategic partners, as you said, because it is funny. Sometimes you do get that random person across the world, like, I want to buy a shirt. And you're like, it's going to cost me more to ship it to you,
right? But
I can still get it done, and I trust this person, they're going to get it done right. And it'll get to you a lot quicker.
Yeah, because DecoNetwork services Great Britain and Australia, and I guess
really anywhere,
countries.
But we do have an Australian team, a UK team, and in the States. And we're available, I wouldn't say 24/7, but almost, because we're on all these different continents, all these different time zones. Doesn't matter if you're on the East or the West Coast here in the States, you're gonna get answers extremely quickly. And again, people like myself love DecoNetwork so much that I'll answer a question at 10 p.m. at night. I like the challenge of doing it.
Right,
so.
right, and you're helping people.
I enjoy consulting and working with DecoNetwork more than I like working on my own business, because I love the leadership at DecoNetwork. It's phenomenal. I love the management strategy. It's a team, and it's always growing. The future in DecoNetwork is so bright, and it's just a joy to work with them and the clientele.
He's talking about me.
Yeah, I mean, money isn't everything, and I do what you love, and I love working with shop owners and helping them get the most out of DecoNetwork software.
So what's one of your most favorite success stories with DecoNetwork?
Oh, I mean, we toured a shop this week that is 100,000 square feet, and they're running their whole business, well, the majority of all their apparel printing through it, and they do a lot of other stuff. But they, just to see that owner and give us the smile on their face of like, we couldn't grow and we can't manage all of this without your software. And we know this because we know what our competition is and is not doing, and they're trying to catch us. Why are they trying to catch us? Because DecoNetwork is older, first of all. I mean, and we have strategic partners. I mean, we have a relationship with Wilcom's digitizing software, and that nobody else is going to be able to get. And it allows us to have the best embroidery features within DecoNetwork that our competition won't have. And just a lot of relationships that DecoNetwork has built over the years, and we're continuing to build. I mean, over this weekend, that's the goal. Just keep building relationships, keep getting the word out there. The biggest thing that we need to do is just get that brand recognition. Some of our competitors are better at acting like the used car salesman and talking you into buying something that you don't need, or selling you something that it doesn't do. And we at DecoNetwork take a lot of pride in not misleading our customers, or our members is what I like to call them, and making sure that they're fully satisfied. We don't like just, somebody to not understand and get frustrated with the software. And we even have the Idea Center, and it's funny, a lot of ideas that get submitted there, it's totally already possible to do that. They just don't always know, and take advantage of client services. That's like one of the biggest mistakes I see is you can raise that support ticket, you can give us a call, and we're gonna help you. The worst thing you can do is give up on the software because you don't think it does something, or you're just frustrated instead of asking for some help.
Right. When you subscribe to DecoNetwork, obviously there's something that you want, and then it's a shame that people, that they think that it's just going to be that they don't have to do anything when you have to do something. I mean,
you have to take ownership of your business.
It's your business. I mean, you want to have a successful business, so you have to put the effort and energy into it. Your business doesn't run by itself. So, your software isn't going to run by itself. Whatever you pay attention to is going to be successful. You pay attention to something, it will grow.
And it's a lot of fun. I like working with the startup mom and pop shops all the way up to that 100,000 square foot business, because I never know what question's going to ask and do. I mean, it's just how
much is their rent every month? Or they probably own the building.
They actually own the building, cool. Which is the way to go, because you have to retrofit that building to do what you need. But they own the building outright. They own all their equipment. They don't have a mortgage.
Nice.
They don't have any of that.
I want to tour there.
They told me, they started in a 10 by 10 room 34 years ago.
Wow.
And it's just, you offer great service, great quality, and you worry less about the price. You know, like your customers will stick with you.
Yeah.
And you probably have had this too, Meryl. You've had customers leave because they think they can get a better price, and then they always come back. Because you offered the better service and the better quality.
Right. A lot of these places that do it for nothing, they're not in business in 6 months.
No. But I have seen shops that print for pennies and others that print from an arm and a leg, and makes you scratch your head. How are you both truly successful? But everybody has a different market, and sometimes your customers aren't very price conscious. Sometimes they are extremely. It just matters what your business model is and who your customers are.
And that old expression, like don't count somebody else's wallet for them. You never know what is in there, or how much is in there. What you perceive may not really be reality, and the opposite too.
Absolutely.
There are people that stash that money under their bed, and they die as multimillionaires. Like, damn. They were eating rice and beans their whole life. You just don't know that. But that's so cool, that 100,000 square foot. That's like a cafe press or custom ink kind of a.
Well, facility. And we have a lot of them. There's a lot of shops that are that big using DecoNetwork software, You could be a mom and pop, you could be a $10 million business, and DecoNetwork will work for what you need.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, there's nobody else out there from a software standpoint, and trust me, I demo our competitors' software. I know what they do and don't do, and I'm biased, absolutely I'm biased, but we offer a product better than the competition at a price lower than the competition. We just need to get people out there, and I'm hoping podcast conversations like this gets that brand out there, because again, it is something that we need a little bit of help with.
So if you use coupon code Spill the Tea, you get a free month. What? Actually, you do give a free month, right?
It depends, but
10-day free trial?
Most of the time we have a 30-day free trial.
Okay.
And it allows you to explore the software. There's always a coupon code. You got to be special. But yeah, like here at the show, we have a 30-day trial, no license fee, and it allows you to explore the software with no risk. And that includes onboarding sessions. So we'll spend several hours with you before you even start paying for the software.
Well, that's great, because that gives you the opportunity to try it, to use it, to see how it works, to ask questions, and then I guess you can still take that, whatever they sign up for, that site that they've already started on, and then make that work. Like, they don't have to start all over again with a brand new site.
Nope.
Right? They can use that, which is great. So, I mean, you can't beat that. So, okay, let's talk about something fun. What trends, I'm going to put you on the spot, what trends, color styles do you see in the apparel industry?
I mean, the biggest trend right now is DTF. I know it's not really apparel, but oh my, it's everybody's favorite process that didn't exist a few years ago. So that's very big.
Well, what do you say with DTF about the feel of DTF? Do you think that's going to change, or?
So we're here at the Printing United Expo, and a few months ago, I went to the Printing United Summit, the Apparel Decorator Summit, ADS. And these are big shop owners that were there. I mean, you have to be doing a lot to attend this conference, this summit. And what we talked about was our customers care less about the hand, the feel of the ink, than we kind of once thought. I mean, the hand from DTF is not what I prefer over a lot of the other methods, but the print quality is phenomenal.
Right, this is DTF.
And
I'm wearing DTF.
It looks perfect.
Yeah.
And DTG has evolved over the years. I still have a DTG printer. Nobody likes to pre-treat. I mean, it's not fun. And I can't go on every type of fabric, every type of color, and I can't get that design to be exactly the same on a variety of products. DTF allows you to do that. The customer would rather have a perfect looking print with a slightly less favorable feel than to have something that feels really good but washes out, or it doesn't look the same on a variety of products, and I can't get every product that I want.
Right.
So DTF has been a game changer because it's opened the door to digitally printing one-offs or in bulk on virtually any type of product. So as far as trends go, it was very hard to digitally print that 100% polyester black shirt or avoid dye migration with some of these. And DTF has now allowed us to print on a lot of fabric that couldn't be digitally printed before. And it just opened the door to a lot.
So if you were going to buy another piece of equipment, would it be a DTF machine? Let's say you were going to add another piece of equipment.
Oh no, I have mine, but yes, if you're going to add one, yeah, biggest game changer, and the time I've been in the industry. When DTG came out 15, 20 years ago, most shops that were screen printing by trade, I mean, screen printing still dominates, will always dominate the decoration methods. But the screen printers 15, 20 years ago did not like DTG.
No, I
Most
think
of them
they
did
still
not.
really don't.
They don't.
They're used to printing, screen printing, the quickness of it, and that's their niche. So,
But DTF is loved by most screen printers. It's amazing. I mean, M&R, one of the biggest screen printing suppliers, they have a DTF machine here, and they have a digital squeegee. Every process has a time and place, and DTF, because of what it allows us to do, is just, it could be a one-off, it could be a big bulk run, and what you're doing is you're producing a transfer that then has to be heat pressed. Heat pressing a shirt is the easiest thing to learn how to do compared to any other decoration process.
Right.
So because of that, the versatility and the ability to supply transfers to other shops, DTF, absolutely. I mean, the math, when you start to do how much, when that printer is running per hour, there's no other piece of equipment that can typically output that much other than a big automatic screen press. But even a big automatic screen press, it's the setup time. You still have to burn screens and do a lot of things.
Right.
Well, DTF, yeah, the profit per hour for what the machine cost absolutely would be the piece of equipment that I would go with. But while DTF is phenomenal from a final production and the pressing is so easy, the biggest problem with DTF is, for a long time, it's all made in China of equipment, and the quality of the equipment can be a headache. I try to buy American, German, Japanese made. I have more confidence in that engineering. They're not trying to cut corners. And that's been the biggest hurdle with DTF, is the equipment is not made from the ground up where you often prefer it to be. I mean, the best embroidery equipment is typically...
Doesn't Brother make in the US, or they're going to, or...
Yeah, but, and I'm not trying to put Brother down, but I don't like their DTF printer.
Okay.
It's expensive, and it's really a DTG machine that was turned into a DTF.
Okay.
Brother as a company and the products they output, excellent. Not my favorite. From a DTF standpoint, I don't like the route that they went. Mimaki has their DTF printer. I have confidence in that. M&R now has a DTF printer. I always have confidence in M&R. It's a lot more expensive. I highly suggest, if somebody's looking at DTF, a longtime DecoNetwork user owns, their business is DTF Experts. Highly suggest anybody wants to look at DTF and be under $20,000. DTF Experts, American Print and Supply, American Print on Demand. There's some really good companies who offer that training, the service. The biggest mistake you can make with DTF is not having it installed and trained on site.
Yeah, well, that
you
should
really
be for
need
any,
that.
yeah, for any
piece of equipment.
Yeah, I mean, we adapted very easily to DTF because we were doing DTG.
Absolutely, it helps.
So so we knew like the software. The software's a little bit different, but we knew what we wanted to get. The trend that I see is that why DTF is so popular is because most customers, where it originates, they just see full color images. They have, here, this is my phone, can I have that on a shirt? And they don't understand how you break up artwork for printing or for screen printing. I mean, for screen printing, obviously, you have to break it down in spot colors or process colors, but they're still screens. So, but your customer doesn't know that. They see a screenshot that's from their website, and then they give you that as their logo, and you're like, you're cringe. But DTF, like DTG, allows you to digitally print these images.
Very forgiving. I mean, a low resolution, well, you can take not a perfect resolution. I don't need a vector, and the output will still be pretty good. I mean, I always want a vector if possible, but you send me a photo, there's no way it'll ever be a vector. It's going to be a bitmap, but it prints beautifully with DTF. And like you kind of said with DTG, it really helped DTF.
Yeah.
Because we as an industry learned from DTG. The biggest thing that it took me forever to learn in my 20s, respect humidity. Humidity is extremely important when you're dealing with a water-based ink.
Yeah.
Water-based inks need higher humidity, otherwise they're going to clog in your lines, or even worse, they're going to clog in your print head, and then you're spending a lot of money replacing it.
Right.
So the more you can use.
But too much humidity on your prints is not good either. You have to have a balance.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and then storing it low humidity.
Yeah.
If you're going to store, like my rolls of film, my powder, stored in low humidity. After I print a transfer, if I'm going to use it as a stock and print on demand, or just press on demand because I'm sitting on the transfers themselves, needs to be stored in a low humidity environment. So respect Mother Nature, respect chemistry. It is something that you will, if you battle it, you will lose that battle.
Yeah, I remember one afternoon I ran to the dollar store and bought all their Damprid, all the little containers of Damprid, and we put them all around because we had moved into a warehouse where there was a lot of humidity. They just got air conditioning in there before we moved in, and they have some kind of open thing, and we're in Florida. So
you're in Florida, the most humid.
The most right. So like I bought two dehumidifiers and all this Damprid, and I'm like coming back and the plastic cases, and we put them in there, and we were checking the next day, what does the print look like, and oh my God, that humidity stuff, it really.
Oh, in Ohio, where I am.
Your hair,
Yeah, the next 6 months in Ohio, I'm gonna have the humidifiers running, not the dehumidifiers.
You need humidity.
Because I'm gonna need that humidity to keep that water-based ink happy.
Yeah.
Because I've spent way more than I would prefer to say on the DTG print heads, because again, when you're 21 years old and
You're 21?
No, I'm not. But when I was 21, I bought the $60,000 DTG machine.
Oh my goodness.
And went through the $1,200 print heads more times than I wish I did.
So you're brave. You're brave.
Maybe stupid would be a better way to put it.
You know what brought me, what kind of like when DTF, and we were doing our DTF on our DTG machine, but what hit me and I got the machine was I went to Walmart, and I'm looking at Walmart, and they had some hoodies, and the way the prints were on the sleeve and around the collar and in the hood, they had like some really cool things at Walmart in the men's apparel section. I was looking at them like, Walmart is using DTF.
You don't want to DTG that. I mean, you can, but you don't want to.
When I looked at it, I'm like, oh my God. Well, you know what? If it's good enough for Walmart to buy those products, then I guess the customer will be. Because I was concerned about the feel, being in screen printing and DTV printing. I was concerned about the feel, but what you said about the customer, like, they're fine. They're fine with
but
it. So
the hand is changing. We're in the infancy stage of DTF.
Yeah.
It is getting better. Absolutely. Here you've got a lot of different ink and film suppliers. So DTF revolves around ink, film, and powder. To get the best possible hand, you need to be using the best possible of each. And even like the powder, I mix a couple different types of powder, because there's some powder that will get you a softer hand, but then it has a trade-off. Well, you mix it, you cut them together, you often get better results.
That's a tip, guys. That's a tip.
Well, press your DTF with denim afterward.
Oh, another tip.
Not craft, not parchment, denim. Like your jeans. You're going to be able to change the feel and the look of it.
Really?
Hitting it with a different type of PET film can give it that different type of feel, that matte. But the ink itself, the powder, it's all getting better. Again, one of the problems is it is still all coming from China for the most part, and we just don't have it manufactured here, but it is starting. DuPont, at the Apparel Decorator Summit, it took them a couple years to get it where it is today, and you're starting to see most of that, or you're starting to see it being manufactured in the States, better quality control, and it's producing a better final product.
So in our Deco software, we will provide DTF and DTG, but we still just call it one thing, so that the customer doesn't.
Great idea.
They don't know.
Absolutely.
So
Great tip. And never don't call it DTF, direct to film. Don't call it DTG. Nobody knows what that is. I like to call it full color printing or digital printing, letting the customer know this is what it really is, and then making the decision. That's a great point. I've talked, like I have a client that I consulted with, they have a digital squeegee M&R machine. You're talking over $1 million piece of equipment. They have a DTF and they have a DTG. So they have digital squeegee, DTG, DTF. They call it full color printing, one process. They get the order based on the artwork and what product is on, then they funnel it to the right department to use that decoration method.
And that's what our expertise as printers, we know that. The customer doesn't know that.
Keep it simple for them.
Yeah, keep it simple for them. All right, well, Zach, I have more questions to ask you, but we are going to have another Spill the Tea with you because this was so much fun. I really enjoyed talking to you, and I can't wait for all of our listeners to get the same knowledge that we talked about, that you gave. So thank you so much for spilling the tea with us and spilling the tea live at the Printing United show. And I will see you in the next booth. Bye, everybody. Thank you. How was it?